You can also listen to us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/theclockcleaners.
Hello and welcome to the Clock Cleaners Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Keith.
And today we'll be recapping SmackDown Live from August 1st.
Yes. So, this is a very good show.
It's true. SmackDown has really been bringing it to the table.
Yeah. Has it?
Yes.
It's definitely been on the upswing, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, with a card that looks like this, it's kind of hard not to be good.
It's true.
So, speaking of a
Very
good card,
good.
the show opened with...
Well, we got a recap first from last
yeah.
week and all that nonsense.
But that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But for the first time in a while, SmackDown didn't start with a promo.
Yeah.
It started with the match.
Yes.
Granted, Raw starts with promos all the time, too. So it's not like they're the only ones. But, so the show opened with, AJ Styles came out first?
Yeah.
AJ Styles came out. I was just confirming. It wasn't...
Yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, they do that.
Where the champion comes out.
Yeah, sometimes it comes out first, sometimes it comes out second.
Yeah, so they...
Nobody knows.
I think they did it for the AJ pop to open the show
Makes
more
sense.
than anything.
And he is the new champion, so.
Yeah. So I think it was more of a try to get the crowd excited at first. Not that it would really matter.
So is he a 3-time champion now?
No.
2?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. First time. He won the belt for the first time from at the house
Yes.
show. That's right. Okay, yeah.
So,
Owens is a 3-time, right?
yes.
Okay.
So then the show opens up with a rematch between the two of them.
Yeah, it's a good match.
Yeah, it was good.
It's kind of expected between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. They're both very good.
Yeah.
So, towards the end of the match, Owens goes to punch AJ. AJ ducks it, and he punches Kyoto in the face.
Yeah,
Kyoto in the face.
Yeah, it was a weird set because he punched him by the face and kind of fell forward.
Yeah, it was not pretty. So I guess that means that he got hit in the eye.
Yeah,
maybe
I guess.
Know. So Kyoto is pretending like he couldn't see.
Yeah.
And then I think it was.
Did Owens hit him with a pop-up powerbomb or no?
No, he went for it.
He went for it, and then AJ reversed it, right?
Well, the ending was AJ had ducked the attempt of it, and I think he
rolled him. Yeah,
he flipped him over
almost into the calf crusher.
Yeah,
because
I think he was going for the pop-up powerbomb, and he rolled through it,
and
then he rolled him. He didn't roll him up, but he rolled underneath him and held him down,
right?
Like he was standing on top of him, and he had him for the pin.
Yeah,
and then Owens clearly had one of his shoulders up.
The entire count.
Yeah, and then Kyoto had his eyes closed as he was counting, and then he got the count of 3. So AJ retained his title.
Kevin was like, again? This crap?
He was not happy.
No. So we go backstage, and Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon are staying there with Kyoto. I'm like, you kind of screwed up out there. And he's just closing his eyes and holding one eye and then holding the other eye. And all of a sudden, Owens comes into the back, flipping out. And he pushes Kyoto.
Yeah, that means that Owens won't be on SmackDown next week because he's going to get suspended.
Mm-hmm. And then Owens and Shane get into it.
Yeah, they're fighting because the two of them obviously have history together.
Yeah, and, Shane says that Owens makes, a case, obviously.
Yeah.
He was screwed out of a match.
He reluctantly agrees that Owens was wrongfully, counted.
Yeah, that works. So yeah, they're going to make a rematch for it at SummerSlam.
Yes.
And Owens like, oh, great. So now it's going to happen again where a referee's going to screw me?
Yeah.
And then that's when Daniel Bryan comes over and chimes in and goes, you know what? Shane's going to be the referee.
Yeah, because Owens had said that he wanted a referee that had eyes and was able to make the right call.
And at this point, Owens was like, oh, my God, he's the worst one out of everybody. He's the most incompetent one here. And then he just stormed off after that. Oh, Kevin's so good.
Oh, he's great. So that means that we're going to have a special guest referee match.
So
that doesn't happen very often.
You think maybe we'll get Shane and Owens at Survivor Series or something?
There's going to be something. It's hard to assume that anything of real interest is going to go on between the two of them.
Well, do you think there was originally a match supposed to be between Owens and Shane, and when they screwed up the finish at Battleground, it got pushed back, so they had to change their plans?
I don't know because there's no real opponent for AJ at this time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to assume that they were going to go Owens, Shane.
Well, who knows? Maybe they were going to have him versus Nakamura, and then they had Nakamura,
I guess. But that seems like a lot of movement for one botch that they could have very easily...
I had listened to, I think it was Meltzer again, that had said the locker room was a mess after the mess up with AJ and Owens at Battleground.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody was freaking out because they didn't know what to do. Yeah.
That's weird.
So...
It seems like such a small thing. Huh.
Well, I guess when things don't go as planned, you kind of just get that initial shock
it's just
of like,
one
oh, crap.
thing, and they handled it seemingly very well. But I guess
they never brought it up again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which is the best way to handle it? Because whenever they try to make excuses, like when they screwed up the finish of that battle royal.
Oh, right with AJ and Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was them trying to make it look like it made sense, but clearly AJ had won. So. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
up next we had the New Day coming out, except it wasn't the New Day.
Well, because clearly it wasn't Big E who was doing the Pittsburgh? No, Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah, they were in Pittsburgh for Raw.
Yeah. So it was clearly not him. I thought it was Kofi.
Right.
And then you start to realize, like, wait.
When they started the second part of the intro, I was like, no, that's not them.
Yeah. So it was one of the Usos. Well, it was both of the Usos.
Yeah.
And then they're doing trying to copy the New Day stuff.
Impersonating them. A lot of sexual innuendos.
Yeah, well, that's
which isn't a surprise.
So, I had mentioned this a little while ago about the music. The Usos have a new entrance song.
Yes, they do.
Where they're rapping over their music, and it actually makes it sound better.
Yeah.
Because, there's purpose to it. So, anytime you have, like, music that makes you feel like they're more important, it's better.
Right.
So,
but yeah, no, this wasn't a bad promo. I mean,
surprisingly, no.
Yeah.
It was actually less random nonsense.
Yeah. Well, after what happened last week, they had something to build upon. You know?
So it was a good segment. It was cool that they copied the New Day stuff.
Yeah.
So
they seem like they're getting a little more comfortable with things because they've had some very awkward promos in the past.
Oh, yeah. Especially when they first started against the New Day with the penitentiary crap. Anyway.
But I think we're in the right direction here.
It's true.
And their match was the best on the Battleground card, so...
That was a very good match,
so
yes.
I don't see their match being a letdown at SummerSlam.
Up next, we had the Fashion Files, Fashion Peaks.
Yeah.
Which is a Twin Peaks reference.
Yep. So unfortunately,
neither of us have any idea anything about Twin Peaks.
I was like 5 when the show came out. You weren't even thought of.
So, but they did, from what I understand, they brought it back.
Yeah, that's what you had said.
So I guess that's what they're going off of. Apparently, the show is very strange and a very like mysterious things or whatever, which is shown by their, I guess, interpretation or their use of the idea. So Fandango's still missing.
Yep.
His face is on the board. It says missing for 25 years underneath his face for whatever reason.
Well, I'm guessing it was obviously to do with the show, some sort of...
I guess.
Well, that's what apparently everything was little... like the... yeah, you know what I mean. Little...
references?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. But yeah, it said he was missing for 25 years. I was paying attention, but I cannot remember some of the other pictures on there. I know there's a picture of Kane.
Schimmel was on there.
Yeah, well, he's always on there.
Yeah, Becky Lynch was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That's not important.
No, it wasn't as good as their...
Fashion Files?
Like the Bo Leave and stuff like that. Which apparently he's a huge conspiracy nut.
Oh, Bo Dallas?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, he was on Jericho's podcast talking about people living at the center of the earth and the Illuminati and everything else.
That sounds horrifying. But yeah, Tyler Breeze is looking for a Fandango. The lights flicker when he's trying to figure out where he is or whatever. And then he looks over, and the Ascension are...
Well, no, Fandango just came in first.
Oh, okay.
And he started mumbling something.
Okay.
And I saw on Twitter that somebody replayed the clip
Uh,
in reverse, and apparently what he had said was the Singh brothers or something like that.
really?
Yes.
Interesting.
I don't know. That's what
'Cause
somebody
that's,
said.
That's something that they would do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, but he appears, he does that, and then all of a sudden the Ascension appear next to them, and they're like dancing.
Yeah, and Connor has a log in his hand and starts pouring maple syrup on it, which apparently in the show a woman walked around with a log or something like that. Yeah.
Sure. So there's now more options to who it could be, because of course our original thought of it being the Wyatts,
Right.
or it could be, I guess, the Singh
Singh
brothers,
brothers.
since they did that, or it could be Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens because of the maple syrup covered log,
It's true.
because they're both Canadian.
I also saw something weird today.
Sure.
They had, I think Tyler had posted something up about it, and Eric Young liked it. He's Canadian too.
I guess that's true.
Sanity.
So, it could be Sanity. I don't think they're gonna pull them up yet,
No.
but at the same time, there's every opportunity that after their match at SummerSlam or at a Takeover Brooklyn, they shoot up, or they just completely bypass anything else Eric Young's gonna do. Leave Sanity in NXT and just have Eric Young on the main roster,
I don't know
but that
about
wouldn't
that.
make any sense.
No. But yeah, then the three of them start laughing, and then Tyler exclaims, "No more metaphors!" And so he wakes up, and he's like, "I know what happened." And so apparently he knows who kidnapped Fandango.
But he didn't tell us.
No, well, duh.
Unacceptable.
I think they're gonna give it away.
The
Yeah,
suspense is killing
They're
me.
dragging on for a while. I mean,
Well, they certainly have been.
well, even the Fashion Files, they've been running for what, a month or two? At
Yeah,
least
it's been
2
a
months.
while, Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it started right before Money in the Bank.
So this is completely off topic, but I saw a picture on Twitter last night of TJ Perkins, and he was in, I guess it was the locker room maybe there, and he was pointing to, I guess it was a basketball player, and his name was John Johnson. Yeah, it was just funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
When is
Good
that
old
coming
Southpaw.
out?
I don't know.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
It was just like last time when it just came out.
Well, yeah,
was
it did come
fantastic.
out of nowhere, more or less. Because I think they announced it, and then it came out like 3 days later or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah, just saw random clips of it, like typing it up, and that was it.
What?
Yeah.
So, anyway, up next was Sami Zayn versus Aiden English.
Yeah.
Sammy makes his entrance.
Completely perplexed.
Well,
It's like skinny Seth Rogen has no idea what's going on here.
wait, what?
Sammy, he looks like Seth Rogen.
Oh,
Just a skinnier version
okay.
of him.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Perplexed? Are you talking about when Aiden
was
English?
coming
Okay.
up to the ring.
I didn't get there yet. That's why he confused me. But he makes his entrance, and then
Oh.
Aiden comes out, and it says, "Stop the music," and then he starts singing, saying that
It's
you're
his
gonna
gimmick.
appreciate my music or something like that. And but yeah, Sami Zayn not interested at all. So this is weird.
What?
Aiden English won a match on TV.
Yeah. Well, technically he beat Randy Orton. It's by disqualification.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really. It's
Still a
hard,
win.
It's hard to count it when you're getting your ass kicked.
It's still a win.
So, Aiden English rolls up Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Actually picks up the victory. Aiden leaves, and then Maria and Mike's music hits, and then they just say that we're extremely happy that you lost.
Well, so we love each other and we love the fact that you lost.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
That was all.
So
Oh, well, this was almost everybody from the tag match last week except for that guy who shows up every once in a while. I think he named himself the Perfect 10.
something like that.
Yeah.
That's
Apparently Luke Harper was in the dark match before SmackDown. Yeah.
who is he facing?
Not a clue.
Okay, very good. All right. So
That's a good question.
what?
Who he was facing.
Probably was Ty.
No. Yeah, I guess it could be.
Well, why wouldn't it be if he's not going to be on TV? So
Fair enough.
anyway, up next was Natalya and Carmella versus Naomi and Becky.
Yeah. This was a pretty standard tag match. Faces go over here.
The Naomi's finishers called the Code of Silence?
No. That's what Carmella went to put.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's the weird leg move.
Natalia had Naomi in the sharpshooter, and as Naomi's crawling to the ropes and grabs the rope, Carmella tags herself in on Natty, and then she pulls Naomi to the center of the ring and puts her in the Code of Silence. Right?
Yes.
And then Naomi kind of reversed it into her own submission move.
Well, she wasn't able to lock it in because you could see her grabbing for her leg, but she couldn't reach it. And then that's when Naomi flipped her over.
Yeah.
And locked in her submission move, which I don't think they've named yet.
I don't think so.
But it's been pretty well used because she finished off. Well, that's how she won it at WrestleMania. And there's been a few other matches where she's won it. I think Alexa Bliss tapped out to it a few times. But yeah, that was how that match ended, and the faces ended up on top.
Yeah.
When I was watching this, I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna have her cash in tonight or something.
Yeah.
Because like if Naomi's team loses, there's no reason not to.
Which brings us to my point. Or actually something you had brought up recently.
What?
Next week, Carmella is challenging Naomi to a match.
Yes.
Very strange considering she's
It makes
Money
no
in the
sense,
Bank
but they're also in unfamiliar territory
with,
because generally speaking, the Money in the Bank contract winner has nothing to do with the world title picture. Yeah. So, but they can't really do that because the storylines are either she's not on TV or she's in the title.
Yeah, like Charlotte, she's on TV one week and not on another week. It's
so
very strange.
Since they can only have one story or they only have time for one story, they can't do that.
Yeah.
So she kind of has to be around.
Yeah, I guess so.
So.
Well, she wasn't around for a little while.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that if she's going to be on TV, it has to be in that one feud. It's not necessarily.
I guess that's true.
So it's unfortunate that they have to book it this way, but I guess they just feel like they don't have the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the two of them don't mesh well.
Oh, no, it's not going to be a good match.
No.
But,
yeah.
It is
pretty much. But, yeah. So up next we had Renee interviewing Jinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so apparently you made an observation.
Yes. This was very funny. So the entire time, he would speak 2 words, take a deep breath, and then look down at the ground to the left of him. And then he'd look up, continue saying what he was saying, stop, look down, look up, look down, as if he was reading like a teleprompter that was on the ground in front of him. It was funny because at first, like, I noticed it, and I'm like, that's weird, because I think it was meant to look as if he was being
like
strong and like intense, but it really did eventually look like he just couldn't remember his lines and he was reading something.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because if doing it more frequently makes it look more suspicious.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But basically, Renee asked him who he preferred to face at SummerSlam. Jinder said it didn't matter because he was going to walk out world champion.
It's true.
Yeah. Then he went on about his normal nonsense.
Yeah, he started speaking in Hindi again. Whatever,
yeah,
right?
he was saying that, going on about his normal rhetoric about fans not accepting him because of who he is and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Still going to be interesting after SummerSlam.
Yeah, well, a lot of things will be up in the air depending on how everything goes.
But I feel like Jinder's the biggest question mark because he rose so high so quick.
I feel like he will not be leaving SummerSlam with the title.
I don't think so either. But
I honestly think that Baron Corbin's probably going to have it.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is that he's going to cash in on, let's say for argument's sake, well, spoilers, but Nakamura.
How about we just get to that when we get to the match?
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's not that far away anyway.
No.
So but yeah, his stuff ends. Come back. Rusev is facing Chad Gable. In
which I think was announced earlier in the night or
last
week, something like that.
It was earlier, if anything. This was a really good match.
Yeah, this was fantastic. This was basically David versus Goliath.
Yes. Because they were saying that Rusev was much bigger than Gable.
Which he is, because I think Gable's like 5'9" or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I'm not saying that they're wrong, but they really made a fact of the unstoppable Rusev and how he is a monster or whatever.
Right.
It was very good. Gable spent a lot of time trying to get Rusev off his feet.
Right, and then he started working on the knee. I think the left knee.
So he was able to get Rusev off balance. Rusev ends up overpowering him. There's a lot of spots where Gable's finally able to get Rusev off his feet and hit him with a few
belly to back suplexes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, they were, and then he tried to power him up where he does. Was he get up from the ground and pick him up? Right?
Maybe.
I forget. He does one where he's. Yeah, I don't remember, but it's very impressive the way he usually does it. He almost was able to do it to Rusev.
Yeah, but he had a few near falls. Rusev gets him down. He goes for the accolade, but instead of letting Rusev lock it in, he slides underneath him, and then that's when he hit another suplex. If I'm not mistaken.
Is that when he hit the belly to back and tried to pin him?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
and then he hit a,
or maybe it was just he kind of deadlifts him and brings him back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
And then he goes for a moonsault. Rusev gets up, and then he's able to counter.
Yeah, he kind of landed on his feet.
Yeah.
And he stumbled a little bit.
Yeah, he's able to counter, gets Rusev down in the other corner, hits him with the moonsault.
So nice.
And then Rusev kicks out after 2. And at that point, I guess Rusev kind of had enough.
Yeah.
He kicked him in the back, went for the accolade, and was able to lock it in. And unfortunately, Gable tapped out pretty much
Very
immediately.
quick. Yeah.
That was probably a time thing. So,
yeah, I was wondering something. Like, how do they signal when they're coming back from the break? Like when
the refs know.
Well, yeah, now, but they have it live running through the commercial, so I don't know if it's
the refs know.
Yeah, I guess that makes.
They
sense.
have the earpiece. They just told
no,
from
I
the
know
back.
it. I didn't know if it was something if they did differently.
Well, I have to. You'd have to assume that since the commentators know, they're getting told from somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably
so.
The
It's
same.
probably Gorilla going. Okay, we're back live. That means that Tom Phillips can start talking again.
Yeah,
and then the ref
probably
is
delayed a little too.
Yeah, and the ref is informed.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
guess that makes sense. I don't know why I was overthinking it.
Yeah, so because obviously they have everything planned. So because it's the same thing as when.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
because that picture-in-picture thing doesn't make a difference.
Honestly, I think I'd rather not watch it at all.
Well, like you said, without sound, it kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, especially considering the commercials are always louder.
Yeah.
That's just a marketing gimmick.
But
yeah, so after the match, Rusev gets on the microphone and says that he wants worthy competition. Where have we heard this before?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Big guy?
A different big guy.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman.
Yes. He's complaining that he's not on the SummerSlam card because everybody is afraid of him.
Yes.
And then he kind of he stumbled a little bit and talked about the Cena match. And
I was going to say, despite the fact that he lost to John Cena like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And so basically he had almost an open challenge, so to speak.
Well, yeah, he just said, who's not afraid to fight me?
Yeah.
And then
Randy Orton came out.
Yep, the Viper.
Yeah. Kind of not forgot about him, but didn't think about it at that point.
You kind of just assume he was going to fight Jinder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's like you don't think about him unless you're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Another match I would like to see in the future. Rusev and Luke Harper. Two big guys.
It'd be different.
Yeah.
It would be probably good.
I think so.
Yeah. So
I think that's something to look forward to, or not look forward to, or something that should happen in the future.
Well, unfortunately, who knows what they're doing with Luke Harper?
Wow. Yeah.
Because he's not great right now.
So, it's
a shame.
Yeah, because he's so over with the crowd, but the same with Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just you don't have time. I mean, it's not, I'm not saying anything against the company, but it's just there's a time constraint.
The worst part is the fact that there's nothing that
you can cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're like having people go out and just wasting 15 minutes of time.
And the long segments are the matches, and that's what you want.
Yeah, so
it's not like there's drawn out backstage segments or anything like that.
There's unfortunately not a whole lot they can do to resolve this issue. Because
I did hear a rumor. I don't know if you noticed during Bring It to the Table. Rosenberg's shirt said Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
But it had the WWE logo.
Yeah.
There was talk about them bringing a show back on a Saturday night.
what, just to add more time
I guess. I don't know.
and have it like affiliated with SmackDown
Or
or
something.
Well, that would make sense, but also they rebranded everything.
I know.
So there's not a piece of merchandise that they sell that doesn't say
That's
WWE
true.
anymore. So that, if anything, that was just a coincidence that you noticed it.
Yeah, it's true.
Because like in the video games,
Mm-hmm.
every WWF thing
Right. Is
cuts off the F part,
Yeah.
so it looks like the WWE.
Makes sense.
So, like, while that is a possibility, that I wouldn't.
It was just coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take too much notice of something like that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
It was just, it kind of popped in my mind.
So anything's possible.
Yeah.
Because SmackDown definitely could use more time, but at the same time, you don't want to isolate it.
No, I
Like
know.
with 205 Live with the cruiserweights.
Well, that was the beautiful thing about Shotgun Saturday Night, Velocity, Metal,
Well,
Jacked.
well, those are just taped
and Heat.
before,
Heat
right?
was taped before SmackDown, and Shotgun Saturday Night was taped before Raw.
Yeah.
But you were able to showcase the
Yeah.
the undercard that
Well,
way.
it was basically you were making a show of the dark matches as
Right,
opposed to
exactly.
what main event is.
Yeah, but it's not shown on TV. I think you can only watch it on Hulu.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Did you know that Raw and SmackDown are played in entirety on Pop TV
Really?
on Thursday nights?
No. Pop TV's what airs?
My dad watches.
GFW.
My dad watches
Or TNA. Or
um,
Impact Wrestling.
whatever it's called. He there's a channel. I think it's Pop TV.
Sure he wasn't watching it in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay.
But it plays Raw and SmackDown. I think Thursday and Friday.
Huh. That's interesting.
I could be wrong about the channel, but I
gotcha.
know that it happens, and it's one of the 140 channels.
Interesting.
So
Well, it's good to know at least.
yeah, it plays the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Just like you said, the Hulu version cuts
half
it
of
down.
well, it technically does cut half of Raw,
Yeah.
but most of it's commercials, and only some of it's technically.
Yeah, but you lose a
content.
lot of backstage segments, cruiserweight matches, women's matches.
Yeah. So
The things WWE doesn't care too much
apparently not.
about. So up next, we had the main event. It was John Cena versus the rock star, the artist, the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, the dream match.
Yeah, which
It was a good
I'd
match.
say it lived up to expectations.
I'd say so.
Um,
Besides the fact that there was no real drama on the line, yes, it was a number one contenders match,
mhm.
but there's no
build-up,
backstory
yeah.
or anything, so it was kind of just
So,
it's like I'm the man, you're potentially the new man.
all right.
So
After the show was over, I was on Twitter, and a lot of people were complaining about how sloppy this match is. I don't know if you remember this, but if you go back and watch the AJ versus Cena first match, it was sloppy. That was when Cena was coming back, and
yeah.
it was two different styles that have never met to get
The only thing that I noticed that was bad was that Nakamura almost killed Cena.
Well, yeah, but
That was the only thing I really.
yeah, there was a couple of small things, but nothing.
That was probably the most noticeable.
Yeah, well,
of things.
yeah, obviously, but yeah, no, that was what people were talking about. But I remember that the Cena Styles the first match was sloppy.
Was that you're talking about the one that was at Money in the Bank?
Yeah, Money in the Bank. That was
Okay.
their first, and then they had the six
Man
man
tag.
at Battleground, and then
SummerSlam
Yeah.
classic match.
Yeah.
The two of them just after they figured it out though, they figured it out.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With people talking down the match.
Yeah.
You got
'Cause-
these are two totally different styles clashing.
Yeah. So I like I said, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah. No,
But
absolutely.
My biggest problem was the fact that reverse exploder
Yeah.
when Cena landed on his neck.
So Cena hit an AA 1st, and Shinsuke kicked out at 2.
Yeah.
So he went to hit another one. Well, he did hit another one, and then he went to do his roll into another one.
Yeah, so he
And-
went to try to do 3.
Yeah, and that's when Shinsuke reversed it and hit him with the exploder
Yeah.
and dropped him right on his head.
Yeah.
And I think Cena mouthed, "I can't feel my fingers."
Yeah, that's not good.
And at this point, Cena got up and Shinsuke hit him with the Kinshasa and won the match.
Yeah.
And I guess when they both got up Shinsuke mouthed to him, "I'm sorry," and
Of course.
John said, "There's nothing to be sorry about."
Yeah, well, see, Cena's a professional. He knows that he wasn't being careless. He just probably isn't accustomed to. He just doesn't know how much Sean weighs.
It's like I said, it's the first time you're feeling each other out.
Yeah, because if Cena, if he's not used to doing something, because Cena's a big dude,
Right.
so if Shinsuke's used to doing this on someone's AJ style,
right.
it's a lot easier to do. You don't have to use as much effort, so you have more control over how fast or how far they go. So it's a freak accident, and Cena's probably
as far as we know,
because he got up and he looked fine.
It wasn't a Stone Cold when he got dropped on his head.
Yeah. So it's also a different dropping on your head because
that was straight down.
Yeah, because you can't move in a pile driver. Yeah. But yeah, he got up. He raised Shinsuke's hand. He, from all appearances, he looked fine. So hopefully that worked out all right.
Yeah. So this is where we went off the air on USA, and apparently on, I guess, the beginning of 205 Live. Corbin, I didn't write notes for this because I obviously about it. Yeah,
I wasn't looking for it. I was just moving in.
But Corbin comes out and attacks Shinsuke from behind, and then apparently, I guess he attacked Cena, and Cena had the stairs over by the announce table and put Corbin through a table with an AA. So I'd say that's a pretty good indication that he's all right.
Well, yeah, if he's able to do that, hopefully, like you said.
I mean, rumors I've heard is maybe we'll get Cena and Corbin at SummerSlam.
That would make sense because you kind of want to put Corbin in a high-profile match,
right? Since
he is Mr. Money in the Bank. Like I was alluding to earlier, what's probably going to happen is Corbin will lose to Cena, and then
usually they lose and then come back and cash in.
Well, there's only been the precedence with Rollins where he got his ass kicked by Randy Orton.
Yeah. That was a good match.
That was a good match. That RKO was beautiful.
Was that from the curb stomp, right?
Yeah, he like threw him up in the air, and oh man, that was a good match.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what'll probably happen is that Jinder will lose the title to Nakamura, and that's when Corbin will come out and cash in the Money in the Bank.
Corbin will continue.
Yes, that is the biggest problem I have with my theory is that I don't really want that to continue. I would have
the match on SmackDown last week wasn't bad.
I know, but I'd much rather.
And their match at Battleground was again their first real match together.
So I'd much rather have Shinsuke and Corbin battle over the briefcase at SummerSlam than Corbin win the title and continue the feud even further.
Fair enough.
But
yeah,
so is what it is.
That was a really good show overall.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And no real complaints here.
No. So minus the potential, the career-ending injury for John Cena.
But yeah, obviously. So yeah, that was our SmackDown review.
If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.